everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie and I am the designer behind Lindy Stitches. I design quirky, cute cross-stitch patterns. You can find them at lindystitches.com. Here on YouTube, I just prattle about the love of needle and thread, buying things that put needles into thread, etc. Today is going to be just a regular old Flosstube update. I have two new patterns to show you. We can talk about my free stitch along. We're going to do a giveaway, a shout out, whips, haul, things that are floating my boat, and a poem. So let's get started. This is just going to be a happy, stitchy time. Okay? We're just gonna sit back, we're gonna relax. Look at my bangs. My bangs are happy today. That's the thing with curly bangs. People are like, oh, I love your hair, it's the greatest. Yeah, well, a lot of the times it just does stuff like this. Coming straight at ya from Rose Street here in Plymouth, Indiana. Let's talk stitching. So I have two new releases to show you, one of which has been out for a little bit. If you've joined my newsletter, I have been crazy busy this month, and I will share the reason why in a future video. I just don't feel like getting into it today, but I released a kit, a little pin cushion kit. It is called Eat Cake. Talk about happy things. Here is what I'm talking about. It says, let us rejoice and eat cake. And the best part of the Eat Cake pin cushion kit is that it comes with birthday candle pins. So yes, I assembled this kit that you can buy in my shop. It is a very quick stitch. You could use it for birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, for the fact that you paid your bills, for the fact that you lived through yet another month of the pandemic without killing your relatives that you live with. Isn't it adorable? So the kit comes with practically everything you see here. I'm on QVC. The kit comes with everything you see here. So you get, picture this plus linen. This is the 32 count linen in Demoiselle. It's a light blue and it has yellow and pink modeling, which is really subtle, and my camera is just gonna say no to that. You get Lady Creates velveteen in the color Shallot. This is one of my favorite colors of all time. You get 3 different Weeks Dye Works flosses, including this. I've used this one before. I used this color in my Oh Happy World cake. Apparently I'm into cakes this year. It's a white, but you can see it has pink and blue, little light variations of pink and blue. So you get 3 of the Weeks Dye Works flosses. You get this blue, you get the white, and you get this purple. And the only other floss you will need is a couple DMC for these little berries on the top and the green. Easy peasy. You get the X and O fabric, you get the not velveteen, you get the eyelash chenille, you get full finishing instructions. So basically all you're going to need is a needle, a couple DMC, something to stuff it with, and you're good to go. It's super quick, it's adorable, I hope you like it. You can find it in my shop at lindystitches.com. Now to get to one of my favorite releases so far this year, celebrating, this is no surprise to anyone, I'm sure, birds. You know, I try not to be a one-hit wonder, but sometimes I cannot help myself. And I knew it was not going to be long into my designing career that I tackled one of my favorite birds, because it is one of the most ridiculous. It has a ridiculous name, it looks ridiculous, and it's absolutely stupendous. I am talking about the blue-footed booby. Are you ready? This new pattern is called Beach Dance, because did you know that boobies dance on the beach together? Look it up. In fact, I will link a video down below because everyone needs to see the blue-footed booby dance. Okay, Deep breaths. This is called Beach Dance. It is a quick pattern. It's under 100 by 100. Let's see how big it is. Here's my pattern cover. It is 93 by 81. It uses 3 weeks dye works and 1 classic color works floss, some DMC. It's stitched on 32 count stone gray Lugana by Witchell. Actually, it's by Zweigert. Regardless, it's in my shop. It's a very easy fabric to stitch on. It's actually what I stitched my chatelaine on. So it's a beautiful taupey gray, and I think it goes great with these wonderful dancers. All full cross, no fractionals, just so sweet. I sent this off to Lois, and she worked wonders. Every time I send her something, I am splendidly delighted by what she does. So she actually made this, wait for it, into a little stitching envelope. And so on each side, there's one of our dancers. How cute is that? I think I just, oh my, I have a little cap for the scissors so they don't poke through. And it just fell off. But here's what the inside looks like. So it has some needle pages and the scissors and the pins, and she did these wool hearts with the beading. This is one of my favorite things. Of course, she used some of her Lady Dot Creates palms as well. This is also a color of her lace. And then to top it all off, she made me finishing kits to put in my shop, so that if you would like to finish using the same kind of trims that she did, those are in my shop. So in my shop, you will not only find the pattern for Beach Dance, but also the little finishing kits, and here's what those look like. So they have the pins, the lace, and the pom-pom trim. My favorite part of the Blue-Footed Booby Dance is going to be, here's what the flosses look like. Aren't they pretty? I contracted Tara, the 805 stitcher, to make me some project bags. And these are a limited run release. I do not have 100 of them. So these are a limited thing. But here's the Blue-Footed Booby bag. Oh my gosh. And I just love this. Tara matches up the fabric across the zipper, which I just love because look at their heads. I love ridiculous things. Look at this one. It's just like peeking out. Hey girl. So I'm going to have some deluxe bag sets, so they will come with the project bag, expertly made by Tara. They will come with the pattern, the finishing pack, the floss, and as a random goodie, I procured these great cards from an artist named Sarah Edmonds, and you can find her on Etsy as well. I had no idea that the booby is actually a bird species that has many different variations, and so I thought this would be a great addition to our bags, just to educate our friends on the many varieties and colors of boobies in the world. I mean, look at that guy. Amazing. So those come in the bags too. I have some extra cards that if you're just interested in the pattern, you can throw in with your pattern, but that again, I don't have thousands of these, so a limited time thing. I have the stone gray Lugana in my shop as well. I hope you like it. this is just happy summer to me. I love these guys. Yeah. Okay. So those are my new releases. What do you think? Let's talk about my stitch along. The last part of my stitch along that is free, that is called Onward Noble Steed, has been released in my newsletter. This was a last minute thing that I just decided to do. I wrote it in one night. I chopped it up and made it into a stitch along, and I thought maybe a couple people will want to stitch this. I've never done a stitch along before as a designer, and it, like I said, was just a random effort of mine that I thought was fun and quirky. And I had 1,500 people around there. I had 1,500 people sign up for my newsletter, I'm pretty sure, just for the stitch along. And so before I show you the final pattern, I just want to say thank you for joining me, because like I said, I've had a very stressful month, and at the end of the day, when I had 10 minutes to scroll Instagram, it was so fun, or Facebook. So many of you joined my Facebook group, and you're posting your starts, and you're making changes, and you're having fun. It was overwhelming to me in the very best of ways to be scrolling through Instagram and every 3 pictures is Onward Noble Steed. It blew my mind. So I learned a lot of lessons through this stitch along. The first lesson I learned is that many people rely on center marks on a pattern. I had no idea how important center marks were. The first part of this pattern came out without center marks, and I answered probably 50 emails about where are the center marks, how do I start this? And let me apologize, because I had no idea. The center marks were definitely included in the second part. The popularity of this stitch along was kind of nuts. I answered, some days I think I got 50 emails asking for the pattern, wanting to know where to find it. I was more than happy to answer all those emails, but it was a lot. So this is a spoiler. If you have not seen the last part of the pattern and you want to be surprised, you can turn off now. I have not fully finished mine, but I plan on doing that this week, and hopefully, fingers crossed, making a video of how I finished it in case you want to finish it in the same way. But this is Onward Noble Steed. One more note. Your guesses were, first of all, in the first part they were bewildering because I told you it was going to be quirky, but people were guessing the sweetest things, like maybe she's playing jacks, maybe she's swinging on a swing, maybe she's jumping rope, maybe she's praying. And I just thought, oh, I told you it was quirky. I hope you're not disappointed, because this is truly quirky. And then the second week, it came out that it says Onward Noble Steed, so people knew she was writing something. And your animal guesses were so much fun. And I'm kind of thinking maybe Onward Noble Steed can happen next summer with another one of those guesses, because ostrich riding, snail riding, dinosaur riding, I'm a fan of all those things, and those sound like great charts. So maybe summer 2021, Onward Noble Steed round 2 will happen. Enough teasing. Here she is. Onward Noble Steed. She's riding an alligator, or a crocodile, if you will. And for a couple of you started it on pea green fabric, and I would just suggest a brown, because then she can be riding a crocodile? I don't know. But here she is. You could easily make this a slug if you took off his legs and gave him a bigger belly. Anyway, This was inspired by a GIF I found called Onward, Noble Steed. You know, do you send GIFs to your friends every day? Because I do. I just found this little girl riding an alligator, and it was like a vintage, it looked like a vintage video. It was made out of a vintage video. She wasn't African American, she was a little white girl, but I changed that. And here's Onward, Noble Steed. I can't wait. I'm gonna finish mine into a pillow with some ribbon. Gonna sneeze. I have a lot of Lady Dot Creates possibilities for finishing this, and so I'm just gonna go through my stash and have a good time and maybe just show you different things that match, so that if you're looking for some trims and backing or whatever and you don't know what would match, I'll give you some suggestions. But thanks for joining me. I told you it was quirky. I warned you. So hopefully my next stitch along will be a little more incorporating of all the little lessons that I've learned. And another lesson I learned is that there are a lot of beginners out there that either don't know how to read a cross-stitch chart or don't know how to get started. And I definitely want to be more inclusive of beginners. I tend to just get very wrapped up in where I am personally, as everyone does, and I forget that, like, I literally had people that had never cross-stitched before find this and want to start it, and that's awesome. So the giveaway for this video, I'm going to give away actually a piece of fabric that I stitched Onward, Noble Steed on. I went ahead and put this in my shop because I love it so much, and I've already charted a pattern that will come out in Nashville on this fabric. It is lovely. I've always liked the fabric that has all the dots on it. Hold. This fabric, so this is called, I think this is called Petty Point. I forget what this fabric is called, but it's made in a few different configurations, and this is the only thing I've stitched on it. This is the Gobbler by Heartstring Samplery. I love polka dots. I think they instantly make anything, whether it be an outfit, a bed. I have polka dot. I have black and white polka dot bed sheets. They make things charming instantly. However, with this fabric, I've never charted on it because it can also make things look really busy, and it can be hard for things to stand out on. But Yarn Tree actually provided me with some of this new fabric. It's called Splash Lugana. It comes in a couple different colors. I can't remember what other colors now that I'm thinking about it. It's called Mint, and it's super easy to stitch with. It's an even weave, and I love that it gives you that polka dot effect, but it's not overwhelming. So anyway, this will be the giveaway for this video. It's a fat quarter of the Mint Splash Lugana. Let's say that you don't use the word giveaway in your comment, but leave me a comment down below of what you would like the next steed to be. So if we do Onward, Noble Steed again, what would you suggest she ride into the sunset? Just want to point out that my pattern was inspired by a GIF, however you say that. And my friend Jeannine McGowan, who I wanted to give a shout out to anyway because she just started her Flosstube channel, I forwarded her what that final pattern looked like, and she said, you know, that's a great illustration for 2020. It's been super weird, but we're having courage and we're riding on. And I totally agree. Anyway, leave me a comment down below of a steed suggestion, and I will know that you're interested in the Splash Mint Lugana. So yes, my friend Jeannine McGowan, I will link her channel down below. She is the designer behind the blue flower. And I'm sure you've seen her patterns, her quilting bee, her greyhound deer, her squirrels. I have one of her patterns that I'm going to show you as a whip, Huckleberry Farm. She is a lovely, gentle, kind, compassionate person. I love her very much. I think you should go watch her Flosstube. Plus she has a baby greyhound. Next up, we'll talk about what I've been working on. My works in progress. The cross-stitch projects I've been stitching on. I did do a lot of model stitching this last month. I finished my Macbeth piece, which this was from my haul, but I'll show it to you now. I finished my Macbeth piece on that split piece soup green linen. It looks amazing. I can't wait to show it to you. But look at this frame that I found for it. I found this at Hobby Lobby. Isn't it deliciously gothic and amazing? I have a sore spot for gothic elaborate frames, and this definitely fit the bill. So Macbeth got done. That took up a good chunk of my time. Onward Noble Steed got done. And these would be the projects that I've been working on in between those others. So it's Jolly July, or Kissmas in July, or whatever other Christmas in July celebration you want to join. I decided to pull out my Falala Llamas. I have one other Christmas whip, but it is put away in a place that is inaccessible to me at this moment. So this was the only one I had going. So this is a Mill Hill kit. You stitch it on perforated paper, and it looks like a simple little project, but do not be fooled. These button and beads kits look so small, and yet they have so much stitching. You're not going to be able to see that. Here's where my llamas are. And that's hours and hours, people. You can see I have a long way to go. But I'm having fun. This is just wonderful. Next up, I did not make a lot of progress on this project. I did a little bit of traveling, and I always forget how absolutely dismal the light is when you travel and you don't have an overhead lamp to help you out. I really thought, oh, I'll be able to sit outside and really see Huckleberry Farm by the blue flower. I'll be able to see this and work on it if I sit outside. The problem with sitting outside in the sunlight is that the sun also comes up through your fabric, illuminating every hole and making your eyes go like this. So I hardly made any progress on this, and it was like painstaking, so I put it back away. I am replacing the alphabet with my children's names, and I'm just not going to bother covering them up. I will just introduce you to my children. So I'm stitching this on 36 count Haunted by Picture This Plus, and my camera does definitely over enhance the colors on this fabric, so it's not this bright, but it's pretty, it's pretty close. My middle daughter's name is Phoebe, and I started with her just because her name will fit in that spot. This is, I want to be stitching on this. Speaking of quirky things, I love my daughter Phoebe. She is really smart, and she's really witty, and the older she gets, the funnier she gets. She's one of those people that, and I just love this, she's one of those people that you can do anything with, no matter how boring or tedious, and she'll make it a good time. Next up is Templar Prophecy by Long Dog Samplers. I am doing this on 36 count, picture this plus fog, and to fit it on a fat quarter, I am eliminating this knotwork at the side. Oh boy. The reason this pattern intimidated me from buying it myself, my husband actually ended up buying it for me, is this gigantic circle of stitching in the middle. I started Gigantor Circle, and it is indeed going to take me 84 years. So here's where I am. I finished Mr. Dragon over here on the right. I didn't put the crowns. He's holding a few crowns, and I haven't put those in yet because I haven't decided if I wanted to add sparkle. I have a sparkle that would be a good choice for this piece, but I can't decide if I want to put sparkle in it or not. So you can see I've done like 50 rows. I feel like I've done 50 rows of this moon, and I'm not even a third of the way through it. It's so big. So the main color I'm using is Silks For You PR 124. Silks For You doesn't use color names, so it's PR 124. And I'm doing half stitches and coming back across, and you can see how the color kind of pools sometimes, and sometimes it looks all jumbled up. I'm enjoying this. It's good TV stitching, because with those long rows you don't have to pay too much attention. Last project I worked on is Gertrude's Garden by Just Stitching Along. A lot of you were interested in my color, the colors that I chose for this piece. I will list those down below in the description box. I was too lazy to actually message them out to people. I mean, remember how many emails I was getting a day? I'll list them down below if you're interested. This is Weeks Tin Roof, I think, 36 count. And here's where I am. I think it's looking awfully pretty. I, for some reason, don't like the color that I picked for the squirrels, so I might rip them out and make them gray. I don't know. There's just something about the squirrel color that's bothering me. But I'm almost halfway through this pattern. It's really a quick stitch. She's pretty, isn't she? Gertrude's Garden. Let's talk about haul, baby. Let's talk about the things that I purchased, which were few and far between. I picked this up. The two cross-stitch patterns that I bought this month are both ones that I have put in and out of my cart a trillion times. This is Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs, and I adore it. There's just something about that urn of fruit. I couldn't resist it any longer. And that blue house is gorgeous. But I am going to need someone to stitch it for me, because it's huge. Here is an old Brenda Gervais pattern that I've looked at many times. It is harder to find because I don't know why. It's not that old. It's copyright 2014, which I guess is 6 years old. Maths. I found it on kittenstitcher.com, and I found it there a couple times. I think it goes in and out of stock. I haven't found it anywhere else. It's called Heap on the Wood, and it's a Christmas piece, and it has this wonderful horse and these people. And it says, heap on the wood, the wind is chill, but let it whistle as it will. We'll keep our Christmas merry still. And I'm just a sucker for words, and I really love the poem. Guess how big this is? It doesn't look very big, does it? I mean, it just has a few motifs in a poem. How big can it be? It can be 260 by 191. That's big. That's a big pattern. Did a little L&S visit in Celebration, Florida, and picked this up. This isn't cross stitch, but if you know how to make a pin cushion, I'm guessing this can't be too hard. It is by Tilda, and it is the Whales mini kit. So it comes with the fabric and the whale pattern and instructions, and it's adorable. These whales are 14 centimeters long, which is a sweet little whale, and I would love to make these. I got some fabric from Teresa, Kitten Stitcher, and I just talked about my love of polka dots, so I've been eyeing these fabrics for a little while now. They're both Jew design fabrics. This one is Grandpa's Sleeve, which I know is very popular. Here's what it looks like. I got a 36 count fat quarter. It has the splotches and the spatters. I also got her exclusive color with Jew design called Farm Eggs. And this too is a splotchy, splattery fabric. It's not as splotchy as the Grandpa Sleeve, and even looking at the color, I was like, wow, these look almost the same. They're not, obviously they're not exactly the same. This one is a little dingier, and it's got splotches of yellow, see that? Whereas this one is a little creamier. And I think the modeling is less. That's how I would describe the difference, but I will definitely use both of these because I love polka dots. And that concludes my haul. I didn't include book chat this time. I don't know how interesting that is to people. If it's super interesting to you, please let me know. Sometimes I don't know what to include as far as like other content is concerned. Let's talk about the things that floated my boat. So I have one thing that is edible. I think technically you could eat all these things, but one that is a food product, 2 beauty products, and I don't know, should we talk about my pants? Let's start with food. If you like chocolate and you like coffee, you might want to fast forward if you'd like to lose some weight, because I cannot believe how good these are. They are so good. Now, I am not a coffee snob, nor am I a chocolate snob. Chocolate is like pizza to me. Even the worst pizza still makes you happy that you had pizza. That's how I feel about chocolate. These are so good. I only have a few left. They're what has fueled me through the last 2 weeks. These are so good. I don't know if you can get these like in Canada or across the seas or what, but they're so good. Like, go try them. They're delicious. Okay, I feel a little weird about the beauty products, but we're all friends here, aren't we? I have a perpetual problem in the summer that I don't wear sunscreen as I ought. And in June, or May, I will sunburn my face. My nose, for some reason, will then stay pink or red the rest of the summer. I don't know what it is. The rest of my face will recover, my nose will be pink. It's annoying. I decided to be a big girl and actually wear sunscreen on my face. I've been wearing this kind of faithfully since January-ish, and it doesn't break me out. It feels good. It's not greasy. You can put makeup over it. Here's what I'm talking about. I love this stuff. Neutrogena, clear face. Just slap it on. It's great. I wore it in Florida where I was just sitting in the beating sun for hours and my nose isn't red. When? In my last video, I wore a lip color and people talked to me about it. So I guess now I'm a beauty tuber. So let's talk about my lip color, shall we? I discovered a new product via Instagram and decided to try it out. I feel really dumb. Let's talk about lips. These are the Maybelline Super Stay Matte Ink. They last all day long. How all day long will they last, Steph? Will they last through eating? Yes. Will they last through making out? I don't know. I don't do that kind of thing. Probably. Will they last through swimming in the afternoon and then at night? Yes. These are amazing. These are great. I love these. Today I am wearing the color Seductress. Do you feel seduced? So they're liquid. You just put them on, you let it dry. They last all day. They're not super drying. I wouldn't wear them day after day after day after day because I think your lips might fall off. But they are a little bit sticky when you first put it on. For like the first hour and a half, I want to say, your lips are a little sticky. So when I wore this the first time, I was like, I hate this. This is the worst. Then it dried and you can't even tell it's there, but you still look like a rock star. So for all those people that asked me what my lip color was in the last video, it was this other color I have called Self Starter. They have a ton of colors. You put them on and they're like shabam. You don't even have to like layer it up. No. Shabam. Get through the sticky. And I don't know, maybe you could try the whole make out, see if it lasts. I don't know. My jeans. Let's talk about my jeans. I've put on some weight. Please note all the things I said about this month's stress. I wanted to try some high-waisted jeans. I like Lands' End because their jeans seem to last for years. As in, I have had a pair of Lands' End jeans that I think are about 8 years old. I still wear them. Whatever. So, Mama decided to try some high-waisted jeans. Okay, so I have 2 different colors. Figured out my size. Okay, this color. Oh my gosh, I can't do it. I tried. I cannot show you my pants. I just can't do it. I'll just put them on the screen. These pants in this color, because I have other colors and they're not as comfortable. This color, these pants are the most comfortable pants I've ever worn in my life. Yes, they're jeans, but they're stretchy. You can tuck all that stuff in, you know what I'm talking about. You tuck everything in. I can wear them for like 4 days straight without washing them because that's how perfect they are. They don't get stretched out. I'm telling you. Those pants. Those are the things that floated my boat. I hope you enjoyed that weird, awkward segment. I'd ask you how your summer's going, but we're all in this together, aren't we? Last thing, and then I have a couple notes afterwards. Let's read a happy poem. Poetry is good for the soul, and I want to read you this poem that made me smile in bed. I love Billy Collins. I've read you plenty of his poetry. I'm not about to stop, okay? This poem makes me happy. You think it's a poem just about two people that are traveling and are super hot, been there, done that, and then he's the master of the twist. Ready? It is called Palermo. It was foolish of us to leave our room. The empty plaza was shimmering. The clock looked ready to melt. The heat was a mallet striking a ball and setting it bouncing into the nettles of summer. Even the bees had knocked off for the day. The only thing moving besides us, and we had since stopped under an awning, was a squirrel who was darting this way and that, as if he were having second thoughts about crossing the street, his head and tail twitching with indecision. You were looking in a shop window, but I was looking at the squirrel, who now rose up on his hind legs, and after pausing to look in all directions, began to sing in a beautiful voice, a melancholy aria about life and death. His forepaws clutched against his chest, his face full of longing and hope, as the sun beat down on the roofs and awnings of the city, and the earth continued to turn and hold in position the moon, which would appear later that night as we sat in a cafe. And I stood up on the table with the encouragement of the owner and sang for you and the others the song the squirrel had taught me how to sing. If you made it to the end of this video, I hope you're a subscriber. I've noticed in my comments section, it puts a little thing next to the people who actually subscribe. And there's a lot of you who comment, but I hope you'll subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. You can also find me, oh gosh, on Instagram as Lindy Stitches, Facebook as Lindy Stitches. If you'd like to show people your Onward Noble Steed, I would love for you to join my Lindy Stitchers Facebook group. I also have a newsletter, which is where you get my free patterns. You can join that down below. Thank you for spending time with me. I appreciate you, and I hope that you are having a summer that rises above your circumstances. Be encouraged. Do good work. Keep in touch. I will talk to you next time. Bye, friends.